San Francisco is renowned for its historical architecture. Perhaps most popular are the Victorian Era homes. However, most of us know little about the people who actually lived in this time. Women may seem particularly obscured. Today, the only Victorian-era home in San Francisco that is open to the public and contains authentic furniture and artifacts is the Haas-Lilienthal House. In 1973, the home was donated to the Foundation for San Francisco's Architectural Heritage. The house provides an interesting glimpse into the lives of women from this time period.
Mrs. Haas was in charge of hiring the servants, of interviewing them, and of laying out their responsibilities. We'd even have a list in one of the rooms of the various responsibilities that the servants had to carry out. And this was all laid out by the lady of the house.
The Haases were a quintessential example of a Victorian upper-middle-class mercantile family.
Mrs. Haas would have, if she had some of her lady friends over, it might be for an afternoon tea or luncheon. And some of the times they might start in this first sitting room, which was considered the most formal room in the house. It would be the least used room, only used for special occasions. Children were usually kept out of that room. She might entertain her ladies for an afternoon visit in there, and then they would proceed from there into the dining room for a lunch or an afternoon tea.
By touring the home, one can develop an interesting sense of how women lived in San Francisco's late Victorian era.
Many of the women, since most of them didn't work unless they were domestics, and most of your domestics were young immigrant girls. It was also a safe job to provide a room and board, just like the servants in this house. But otherwise, most of your ladies were in the home. They did needlework, samplers, a lot of reading. The ladies did read a great deal. Things that related more to the home and the domestic duties of the hired servants.
The Victorian era is notorious for confining women to the home and for its strict social values. Regulations for clothing were notably rigid.
Women had so many different outfits. You might wear something in the morning, then if you had some visitors come in the afternoon, you would change into something a little more formal for afternoon wear and for an afternoon visit, tea or whatever they might be serving. And of course, evening wear was different again.
Despite all of the ageist setbacks, several women from San Francisco managed to prove quite innovative for the time. Born in 1872, Julia Morgan became a pioneering female architect. She's most remembered for creating the castle of William Randolph Hearst. Although Morgan is estimated to have designed over 700 buildings during the span of her 50-year career. Other interesting women from San Francisco include Isadora Duncan, known as the mother of modern dance. Also, Maud Fay, the international opera singer. And Dorothea Klumpke-Roberts, an incredible astronomer closely associated with the Académie des Sciences in Paris. In 1891, Dorothea earned a position as director of the Bureau of Measurements at the Paris Observatory, a position she won over 50 of her male colleagues. Dorothea's sister, Anna Elizabeth Klumpke, was also well known during this time. Anna painted iconic portraits of women's rights activist Elizabeth Cady Stanton and famous artist Rosa Bonheur. Anna, Dorothea, and their sister Julia are interred at the Neptune Society Columbarium, a beautiful domed building that was completed in 1898.